This is Five with Friends. 5 friends, 5 perspectives, all fun.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode, everyone. My name is Zain. Don't ask why, just put an I. And with me this week is Samrah.
Yay!
And Amina.
Hello. Nice to talk to you.
Yeah, how's it going?
Yeah, we didn't put out an episode last week. Sorry, listeners.
But we were getting ready for something special.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to work out the kinks, and then here we are.
So, before we go into what we're doing that's special, how was your week, Zain?
It was good. I mean, it's been a short week because of what is that holiday
Memorial
called?
Day.
Memorial Day. Because Memorial Day weekend. So that happened. So this has been a short week in terms of the work. The weekday.
The work
weekend
week.
though was pretty work week. Yeah. That was a word. But yeah, no, the weekend was pretty cool. I had a barbecue that I went on Saturday, which was really fun. Which a bunch of my friends.
What'd you eat?
Yeah.
Nice juicy burger. And some what is that thing called? Macaroni salad. That's all that.
I'm not the biggest fan of mac salad.
Same.
I thought you'd have actual mac cheese.
Yeah.
No, it was macaroni salad, and then they had potato salad.
Ugh, I'm not a big fan of all this mayo.
I might.
Mayo.
Like when we're doing a barbecue party, I like there to be burgers, dogs. I don't even know if I need
dogs.
Dogs.
I don't even know if I need chicken, but I definitely like burgers and dogs and vegetables.
If you're gonna do anything with mayo, I want coleslaw.
Yeah.
I'm a coleslaw.
You see corn on the cob.
Yeah.
Straight on the grill.
Yep. Corn on the crab.
Crab. Went too far?
You know what I hate though is when you go to those diners and they give you that little slab of coleslaw. That I think is disgusting though.
Really, that's the one
I really like that.
Like the one they give in the plastic cup.
Yeah, no, I like it, and then dip it in fries. I eat it with my fries, or if I have if I sandwich, I put it in my sandwich, or if I
don't trust it. I don't trust it. I don't know how long it's been out.
But you gotta go to a good diner. You can't go to a shack.
A shack.
Even in the good diners, I'm always a little hesitant, being I don't know.
Oh man, you can smell it. You can tell.
Sometimes it's better to not know.
And then throw up later.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I had another stomach bug.
What a segue.
Speaking of, I had a stomach bug this weekend. I puked.
What caused it? Do you know?
I think it was bad fish.
Or bad turkey.
Either way, it was a bad meat. And I thought it was a migraine, and then I threw up, and I was like, okay, I'm donezo, because usually when I have a migraine, I throw up, and then I'm good to go. But the nausea didn't stop until 12 hours later.
Mm-hmm. I know, because I was...
Yeah.
That's not fun.
Actually, Zain, it was the day we went to your house. To break fast.
Yeah, I was throwing up. We're ingesting food, ejecting food.
While I was eating pakore, that's what she was doing.
Yeah.
Thanks for ruining my toilet.
I'm sure your toilets are...
Yeah. Remember you had ants in there the other day?
Did I talk about this in the podcast? I don't even know.
We had a Creepy Crawler podcast, remember?
Well, not just
yes.
And there was also, I think, a snap of it.
But that's not...
Yeah, I sent you guys a snap. Yeah.
Oh,
it was that. Yeah.
I'm glad it wasn't to the listeners.
It was disgusting.
Y'all don't need to see that.
Yeah, it was not pretty. And the fact that it was gone 3 hours later really freaked me out.
Where'd they go? That's the question.
Wait, so was that mad and then they left all of a sudden?
They were all gone. There was no trace of them at all. They're completely empty, as if nothing happened.
You ate them in your sleep.
You know what I'm afraid of? I've seen so many pictures of this that snakes crawl through the pipes. And
we had a whole episode about this. You were gone, though.
Hey, sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
But snakes crawl through the pipes and then they're sitting in your toilet and you don't know.
Did you see that video of the spider? I was talking about this before. The spider in the end of the toilet and you don't even see it. And they flush and you see this giant spider come down and it doesn't flush. It crawls back up and hides again.
Oh, I didn't see that video, but that would scare the living bejesus
It makes you not want to go to the bathroom in Australia.
You don't want to, yeah. No, not at all. It's like, it's frightening. Like, it scared me. I'm like, oh my God. Like, that happened. Because that's your worst nightmare, when it crawls back out.
Because it's also your most vulnerable thing. When you're taking a shit, you're the most vulnerable I think you ever are. Because even when you're showering, you can kind of run, even if you're naked. But if you're shitting, there's no way you can go. The poop is coming out.
I'm like so scared to like go to the bathroom all of a sudden. Like, what if a spider comes out?
No,
that's why you gotta do the double check. You gotta check twice before you sit down.
Although, by the way, bleep that out. That where we live.
Oh yeah, okay.
Got crazy listening, and they're obsessed with chummy.
Chummy, yeah, they're specifically coming over to like.
So I talked about them this weekend to our listeners at like dope.com. I saw an LA Aesthetics.
Our OG listeners.
LA Aesthetics.
Yeah. I got them, not this weekend, but whatever, the other day. And I was like, oh, we got to record this week. I was talking to Amina, and he was like, yeah, I'll go on. And we're like, yeah, right, you're not part of it anymore. And we changed the name.
We changed the name. Not the name. We changed our tagline, and we changed our theme song just to indicate how much we don't want you back.
And what did he say?
I would have come back. It's the break now. I'm like, no, you wouldn't have.
If he wanted to come back, why is he not here right now?
Exactly. He would have reached out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's funny because over in the barbecue, one of my friends there, she's also a listener. She was asking, it's like, is your brother Qasim still on it? I'm like, no, not really, not anymore. She's like, what happened? Is he okay? Is everything fine? No, I was like, no, he just pretty much bowed out. Like, he didn't really want to do it anymore.
Pretty much.
She's like, that's kind of like.
When Maz has some free time, I think he would come back and join for a little whatever, however many episodes, or maybe one, as being like, hey guys, I'm back.
A guest.
Yeah.
But
he's a guest now.
Yeah, 110%. A guest. Both of them would be guests on our podcast.
Listen, at this point, if you can, have
she's struggling.
certain other responsibilities come your way, a job and other things, you can
new journeys.
You can definitely make the
Samrah's
time.
Saying,
look at me.
Samrah's she has a point. She had a whole new thing pop up.
Yeah.
And she took it stride, and she took her time off, and then she came back.
Yeah.
You were dedicated.
Yeah. I was like, I have another I don't consider Father and Friends a job. It's socializing, and I need that.
I don't have friends.
Wow, that took a little deep. Right there. A little
sad right there. So let's get into our special ep.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Special ep. So I had this idea.
Mm-hmm.
I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, a lot of themes, and a lot of people doing their thing, and I thought, why don't we have some episodes, maybe once a week, in which we discuss a Bollywood movie, an old school Bollywood movie, and we talk about it, and we talk about some highlights, what we like about it, and just go from there and just enjoy ourselves. Am I missing anything?
No, you pretty much hit it on the dot.
I don't know. I guess we can talk about how ridiculous some of how ridiculous some of these movies would be.
Yeah, and talk about our childhood and how it connects and what stood out to us.
Yeah. I mean, because I guess we got to tell the listeners that, we watched, at least the three of us have watched so many Bollywood movies when we were younger. I mean, you guys still watch it. I mean, I've kind of petered off, but, we watched so many movies, and we watched it in repeat. So some of these movies that we're going to do, I probably, even though I haven't seen this movie that we're going to talk about in, easily, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years, whatever, I still know it, in the back of my hand, pretty much.
Yeah, and
we've just seen it so many times.
And the thing is, it's so fun when you watch it again, because you're like, oh, this is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, and you don't realize, when we would be watching it as kids, we didn't think it was that ridiculous. Now looking back, we're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this weekend, I'm so sorry. You bleep that out too.
Nobody knows this. Nobody knows.
No one needs to know. I'm so used to work. Samrah and I watched this movie, Hoon Na.
किसका है ये तुमको इंतजार में हूं ना.
Wow, so Tareen and Tareen. But this movie came out in 2004, directed by Farah Khan, starring Shah Rukh Khan, Zayed Khan, Amrita Rao, and Sunil Shetty. We've talked about two out of the four.
Yeah, extensively with Shah Rukh Khan
and Sunil Shetty. We talked a lot about Shetty. This is one of those roles where if you want to see Sunil Shetty in a role in which at the
every time you say his name, I'm sorry, every time you say his name is the funniest thing. Because it doesn't sound like you're saying his name right. It sounds
Sunil
like you're
Shetty. Sunil Shetty.
Yeah.
Is it spelled Shetty or Shitty?
It's Shetty.
Shetty.
And all I have to say is,
we'll get to there. We'll get to that. But again, if you want to see an iconic role by Sunil Shetty, then this is the role to watch. I don't think anyone else could have played a better Indian terrorist. As terrible as that sounds, maybe Sanjay Dutt could have done it.
Sanjay Dutt has that that face that would have been a real mean guy.
A real mean guy. I'm trying to think of any other actor that would be able to do it.
I mean, I think what's that guy's name? The guy that's in like every Indian movie, and he's always a bad guy. Wow, how come I can't think of the guy's name? Yeah, Amrish Puri, that guy.
The one who's Kalima, Shakti Den, Indiana Jones.
I can't believe I forgot his name. Yeah, Amrish Puri. He was the quintessential.
But he's antagonist. Too old. He's dead now. Rip. But he was too old when this movie came out. Because this is
true.
He had to be like fit, but like, maybe like in his 40s. And Amrish was probably in his 60s.
He could have been the kingpin, Amrish.
It would have not worked. I just feel like he's too extra for this. And this movie's pretty extra.
Yeah.
That is true.
No. Sunil Shetty's subtleness. Of his subtle bad guy demeanor.
His voice is so like grating.
Yeah.
It's in one tone too. It's like in one pitch.
There's so many different emotions in this movie.
It's so colorful.
You needed the bad guy to be like just
monotone.
Yeah.
Monochrome, monotoned.
He was definitely monochrome too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was definition of gray as the color. Like
he was.
Gray. He wore like camouflage.
He wore camo, but like his hair was gray and his beard was gray.
The bandana though. What about the bandana?
His bandana? Did he have a bandana?
Did he have in that like the 1, 2, 3 scene? Like did he have a bandana?
No, he was wearing that topi that he was wearing the whole time.
Oh yeah,
it was a topi.
A hat. That topi. Yeah. So basically, the movie starts out, and they're at this like TV interview. And this dude's like interviewing the generals and the brigadier and general of the Indian army. And they have this whole plan that they're going to release Pakistani POWs, prisoners of war, as an extending their hand in peace towards Pakistan. Pakistan hasn't said yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Pakistan hadn't responded.
I don't remember that, but okay.
No, I know because it the bad guy, Sunil Shetty, what's his name? Raghavan. He is like, Pakistan won't agree. They're going to laugh at us and then kill our POWs, basically.
I see.
So they're on this TV show and they're introducing this Project Milap. That's what it's called. Milap means Milap.
Like I guess it means like to bring together. Milau,
Milau.
Like is that like a peace, like a treaty?
Yeah.
Well, no, Aman means peace. So Milap means to bring, like Milau, like to meet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think we're like making it seem like we know what we're talking about, but I'm pretty sure that's what.
Look, we could be totally wrong. Milap could just mean nothing.
Yeah. Milap could mean peace.
Milap. No. So basically, this TV show happens. Raghavan, the terrorist, comes in, played by our very fave Sunil Shetty, comes in, huge fight scene, Bollywood style. Okay, and lots of guns, lots of people, and people getting shot. Brigadiers, generals getting shot at.
Mm-hmm.
And Brigadier Sharma takes a bullet for General Bakshi. And Brigadier Sharma, okay, is played by, what's his name? Nasiruddin Shah. He's a very famous
Who's that?
older actor. What has he done? I can't even think of it
Is there
right
anything
now.
that? Wait, what was it? No, Nasruddin Shah. Okay.
Yeah. So
I've seen that guy. I've seen this guy. Okay.
Yeah, if you see that guy, if you look him up, you'll be like, oh yeah. I think he's been in.
He's been in a lot of movies, guys. Lots of movies.
He always plays like kind of like a bad guy though, right? He has like a bad guy looking face.
Yeah, like a henchman type guy, right? A henchman, bad guy-ish.
Not necessarily. I don't say
The big boss.
No.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But so that man, Brigadier Sharma, is Major Ram Prasad Sharma, which is Ram is Shah Rukh Khan. Oh, he comes in and he starts firing bullets in ways that you could tell he's on a wire. And they're like, and like, I love how in this movie you can dodge a bullet so easily. You can like see the bullet come at you and just like move slightly. They do that a couple times in this movie where like at one point like Sunil Shetty like punches Shah Rukh Khan and he's like floating midair, and Sunil Shetty like slowly saunters over the body and just like karate chops him. It doesn't matter in these movies.
Yeah, not at all. It's funny because there's a on Reddit there's an entire subreddit dedicated to that called r/Bollywood Realism. And that's all they do is an entire community of people that just post these type of like ridiculous, like over the top, fight scenes or gun scenes or whatever. It's really funny.
Well, this is like every fight
That's
scene in this movie
quintessential.
would be like in this and that. But basically, Major Ram, Shah Rukh Khan's dad, dies. Okay. All right. And his dying wish, dun dun dun, is to reunite his estranged wife and son with Shah Rukh Khan to be a family again. And the reason why is because, you want to go for it? Why they're estranged?
Because Shah Rukh Khan's father had an affair with someone, and Shah Rukh Khan is that person's son.
Yeah.
The person
So
he had the
he's a
affair with.
bastard.
Yes. But in Game of Thrones language.
Major Ram Snow.
Yeah. Major Ram Snow. And so this affair happened, around the time where he had, which is, it makes kind of, no, it makes sense, because I guess he like shows up at the door. Doesn't he like show up?
He shows up as like a child.
He was like 10 years old or something when he shows up.
At the father's doorstep. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm your son. And so the guy's like, okay, let me take you in. But his wife is like, absolutely not. I don't want him in our house. I don't want him as a reminder of what you did to me. And if you have him and you raise him, then I'm going to leave with your other son, your legitimate son. And guess what? Spoiler. I guess not spoiler. He chooses Shah Rukh Khan and raises him. And so his dying wish is, boy, let's get the family back together. Meanwhile, General Bakshi has a daughter. An estranged daughter, because he treated her badly because she wasn't a boy. And he's like, look, this Raghavan terrorist is going to target my family. So while you try and go find your family, I'm going to let you know they're at the same school. The son, the brother.
Coincidentally.
And the girl. They're
What
the
are
same
the
school.
chances?
You got to watch over them. And you're going to pretend to be a college student. And he's like, what? I'm too old. I'm like 30-something. And he's like, you're going to be an old student. You're going to come back and you're going to say, hey, I had to finish schooling because of family stuff. So then he goes. And then we get to our first song of the film. The first song. Do you know it?
No, I can't remember.
Would it chase my gun?
Yeah.
Oh.
To all listeners that don't know anything about Bollywood, every movie is essentially
a
musical.
Almost.
Essentially a musical.
It's not
Especially
almost. It's pretty much a musical.
Hey, 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 hey,
Whoa,
whoa.
whoa.
especially in early Bollywood days, like these were every movie was definitely a musical. So yeah, so we're gonna have a lot of musical breaks in here.
From me.
Yeah. So the girl is played by Amrita Rao, Sanjana, and the brother is played by Zayed Khan, Lucky Lakshman Prasad Sharma.
Lucky.
Sanjana is again General Bakshi's daughter that Shah Rukh Khan has to protect as he's trying to win his family back.
Coincidentally, Lucky is like 5-year fail student.
Yeah.
He's like older, and she's not, and they're best friends. Another coincidence. But
Lucky's this bad boy type character. He's
Yeah,
like tries to become really like he thinks he's really tough.
but he's
And,
like weakling.
Yeah, and then Sanjana
Is like
is
a tomboy, plain Jane, as they call her, even though she's kind of like goth, plain Jane.
Even though she's still like a really pretty.
She's still hot. That's what annoys me. Is like they're like, oh, no one looks at Sanjana. Meanwhile, she's like in crop tops the entire time, and you're like, what do you mean no one's looking at Sanjana?
She looked great to me.
And they're like, oh, it's because she wears too much eyeliner.
Yeah, that's exactly. It's like that's the only reason why she looks ugly.
She's a plain Jane. She wears too much eyeliner.
Yeah, Sanjana. Ew.
She's too plain. But so Shah Rukh Khan comes, and he wears his bell bottoms. Do you remember that? He wears like bell bottoms to his first day, and they think he's a teacher because they have this. Oh, so they're doing the arm wrestling, remember? And he loses the bet, and he has to trip the first person that comes through the doors.
Yeah, to kind of like fit in with the crowd.
And so he trips Shah Rukh Khan's character, and he's like, "Sorry, uncle, it was a bet." And so he doesn't know at this point, though. Shah Rukh Khan doesn't know that Lucky is his brother. So he's just like this punk who's best friends with the girl I have to basically protect. And so I don't know, like things ensue. The teacher comes in that very moment. Her name is Miss Kakkar. And she's like the Hindi teacher.
I love Miss Kakkar.
She's probably MVP.
She definitely is MVP of the entire movie, Miss Kakkar.
No, her or the other spitting professor.
No, the spitting professor not even as much. Miss Kakkar is definitely MVP, along with a possible Sunil Shetty taking in for a second place MVP, especially with
But Miss Kakkar is like, what did she say? She's like, pale, to Lucky. She's like, if you pass, I'll give you a Cadbury, a Cadbury chocolate. And she's like, me lucky from Milky.
Mako man or macho.
Oh, what a Mako man!
Iske muscles dekho. Look at his muscles.
Muscle. She's hilarious. I like the Malaki. I'm gonna call Cadbury. I need chocolate again. I'm like, can I get the Malaki?
Can I get a bar of Malaki?
Kadabadi.
That's what you should say for Milky. No.
Can I have ice mocha with Malaki?
Can I have a Malaki shake, please? A Malaki.
Anyway, I'm gonna do a challenge with Malaki. The Malaki challenge.
Yeah, like we
on the rocks challenge.
Yeah, on the rocks. Nobody did it but me.
Samrah did.
Thank you, Samrah. I appreciate it.
So anyway, basically, he goes to the principal, and the principal knows what's up.
Yeah, but the principal is like obviously a big ditz.
A bozo, a moron. But he's a nice man.
Yeah, very nice.
He's played by Boman Irani, and I thought that was his first role, movie role.
No, if it is, I don't think so.
But that's like his first big movie role. How about that?
I don't know about that either.
No, because remember Boman Irani's whole story where he was like, I got famous at 40-something years old. I got my big break.
Well, you guys go, and I'm gonna be researching.
Actually, do you know it was well? He has a few movies that came out before that. I would say his biggest movie that he made before Hoon Na was Hoon Na by MBS.
Yeah, there you go.
That was his breakout.
Because like there's like 3 other movies, but I don't recognize them at all.
Hoon Na would be a good movie to do this too.
And he was nominated for a Filmfare for that.
Like he was in Darna Manahe. That was even before.
That was a terrible movie.
But I guess he wasn't the main character. I guess, right?
No, because that movie's like a mini stories, like scary mini stories that are terrible. That
Hoon Na by MBS, by the way. We should do that movie next.
Yes, that's our uncle's favorite film.
I love this movie. I love the movie only because my aunt watched it so many times. I watched it with her so many times that I like it now.
Whose favorite movie is Darna Munna Bhai?
Munna.
Oh.
Hamare own Munna.
Oh.
Our own Munna.
Hamara own Munna.
I like my Urdu English intersected. Anyway, so he goes to the principal. The principal's like, he keeps calling him like, Captain. He's like, you got to keep this on the DL, bro. Like, no one's supposed to know. And he's like, okay, Captain. Ram. So he's a ditz, bumbling fool.
But great.
But good night. Good guy.
Joker.
And so he goes to class, and that's where you meet the spitting teacher. Who is he played by? He's a famous actor. He's in so many movies.
He was in Ham Satate.
He plays the fat...
Satish Shah.
Oh, wow. You got that. Rasai. Professor Rasai. And
I'm on the Wikipedia page.
Yeah. He spits the entire time he talks to people, and he knows he does it. Like, he actively is like, yeah, and I spit on people.
Yeah. I spit on you, and I spit on you.
Oh, yeah, that's a line from the
And
movie.
isn't his, like, vocabulary very, like, spitty, like... It's, like,
he's like, you... He's like...
Everything he does is, like, he spits.
Well, it's like the sucker and succotash, like the what's that cat?
Sucker and succotash. Is that duck? A duck? Daffy Duck?
No.
I'm thinking of the cat. The cat.
Sucker and succotash. Oh, it's the cat from Tweety Bird.
Yeah. What's his name?
I'm forgetting.
I don't remember. The Tweety Bird cat.
Sylvester the cat. There you go.
Sylvester.
I don't think it was Sylvester, but okay.
Sylvester Stallone, the cat. But anyway, he gets introduced, and he's like, oh, who's going to be Ram's friend? Who's going to be Ram's friend? And no one raises their hand because he's old, and who wants to be friends with someone who's old and not help them out? Who doesn't have a heart? Anyway, so...
speaking of that, did you ever, like, when you were in college, Amina, did you have anyone, like, any older people in your class?
No, yes, I did, but no one was introduced.
You didn't have, like, the forced introductions that you do in the first week?
No, it wasn't... That's like a high school, where you're like, guys, we have a new student, but they did it in college.
Right.
A lot of the stuff in this movie is very, like, high school. Like, they don't understand college culture in Bollywood movies. They're like, ooh, we have to go to prom.
College is different, right? So in India and Pakistan, just to put out there, metric is like high school pass or whatever. Metric is till the 10th grade. Then 11 and 12 is considered college. Whereas for us, it's still high school. It's considered college. And then you go and you move forward with like a 4-year degree. So similar to that in that sense.
Anyway, this college, university, is like a high school. So they introduce him to the class. He's like, ooh, who wants to be friends with him? No one said anything. And then he says, Sanjana, under his breath. And so they're like, Sanjana! Because the bumbling idiot principal is like, oh, okay, and just says it. Sanjana, he follows Sanjana around for like a musical interlude.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, which is, I think, the meanest thing you could say to someone, right? But she was like, look, Ram, all my friends are special, and you're not special.
Yeah, like, to be friends with me, you have to be special, and you just aren't.
Yeah.
And she walks away.
And she walks away. Oh, also, okay, right. Now, I have a lot of things going in my brain at once because that happens, and then right after, doesn't that part happen with the bet, and they run on the roof?
That was like the next day. It wasn't right away.
Oh yeah, so that night, the dude's like, Bakshi's like calls him. He's like, "You friends with my daughter?" He's like, "Yeah, we are." He lies. She doesn't like him. The next day, Lucky does another arm wrestle with this dude, loses the bet. No, he does a race. Mm-hmm. It's a race.
Yes, but it's also like a bet race type situation.
Right, because whoever wins gets to kiss
the girl,
Micro Mini,
played
played by Rocky Salvant, pre-surgery.
Rocky, do I know Rocky Salvant?
She's in a lot of stuff. Always plays the whore.
Jesus.
Oh, okay. I see a picture of her. Yeah, I remember her now. Always plays the whore. It's funny because I'm on the Wikipedia page and it literally says, throughout her career, she has established herself as a sex symbol. So we didn't say it. It's her Wikipedia, but
sex symbol are two different connotations. I'm a little negative Nancy with that.
No, yeah, maybe not that. Yeah, whatever. Anyway.
So anyway, okay, he runs to the roof, okay, and they make this bet and they have to run and put up the flag. Lucky and this dude, I don't know, Rocky, some bully, I don't know, like a jock. They make this bet and they have to run to the roof and they have to pull the flag up. They have to hoist it up, and whoever does it first wins and kisses Micro Mini. Okay, so they're running. And while this is happening, Shah Rukh Khan asks his one friend that he made, which is like this little computer nerd, to help him find out who his brother is, okay? So while this race is happening, Shah Rukh Khan is literally at the computer and there's like a dial-up connection and it's not working. You cannot... like, just like pixel by pixel, his face loads.
It's so true.
Oh, God. Sign of the times.
Exactly.
What do you think?
I don't even know if those... It's so weird because they had so much technology throughout the movie that they show, but then when it comes down to trying to get the picture, it's going by pixel by pixel.
It's that suspense.
Can you guess it? Zayed Khan, Lucky, falls and slips and is hanging on the roof, which is 3 stories high, meaning he will die if he falls off that roof. And he's hanging on. And then right as he falls and he goes, ah! And someone goes, Amrita Rao goes, Lucky!
Ah! And she tries to go on the roof, but people stop her.
Yeah, they're just like, ah! The picture loads and he sees it's Lakshan Prasad's Sharma is his brother. And he's like, oh, Lucky. And then he hears it and he looks out the window and there is Shah Rukh Khan, Major Ram, running on the roof to get his brother because he's army certified, which means he can
do everything.
He's army certified.
So he somehow can like...
And so everyone's watching him basically run and save his brother, and he saves him. And I always thought that scene was so weird because how is he... First of all, he jumps down, okay? He the dude Rocky throws him the rope that they were going to hoist the flag up with, and he holds on by the rope, which is fine. He's scaling the building. But then he tells Lucky to let go. He's like, "Main Hoon Na," and that's the first time the title of the movie is said.
Hey.
Very possible.
And then he falls, and he's holding him with one hand, and somehow he hoists him back up onto the roof with one hand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, he was really strong. He's Major Ram Prasad.
No, he's not Major Ram Prasad.
No, his name is Major Ram
Sharma.
No, but there's a middle name.
Mm-hmm. It's Prasad. It's Major Ram Prasad Sharma.
Oh.
According to Wikipedia.
Prasads? It's both Prasads?
Yeah. I guess so.
What? That's not. Okay. Anyway, fine. So he gets back on the roof.
So angry about that, but okay.
Well, it says here Zayed Khan is Laxman Lucky Prasad Sharma.
Yeah, so then they're both the same middle name. Whatever. Okay.
Okay, so then
I threw Amina off for a second.
Yeah, okay, and then they're they're walking together and they both do the same hair thing.
Mm-hmm.
They flip their hair. It's oh, look at them, they're brothers.
That was the coolest thing to do too, that little hair flip.
It was sweat. It was wiping sweat away.
But the way they do it, it was so cool. You're oh man.
They flip the sweat off.
That was exactly. There was a style to it.
It was a style to it, and then it was a hit amongst all these, little kids running around in Pakistan and around here too. Just a little sweat.
Yeah, when dusk came out and everyone did the dust dance, same thing, except this was the hair flick, the sweat flick, the jua flick. Off your head.
Jua flick.
The jua flick. So So, and then, like, Sanjana comes and she's like, Ram, you are very special. Tearjerker moment right there. And they become friends. Okay?
Is that the intermission then?
No. The intermission is...
And it goes to...
No. Wrong. And it goes, they're taking pictures of them going, yay, we're friends. Literally, the terrorists are taking pictures of them celebrating their friendship. And then the general is like, hey, Khan. That's his henchman is named Khan. To indicate he's Muslim. So he's like, Khan, you have to kill that little boy. And one of their friends is like a major geek. I don't know his name. Limp Noodle. What's his name?
I don't remember.
Noodle?
But
Vivek,
like,
maybe?
What?
Vivek, maybe?
It's not
Percy?
Percy. It's Percy.
I'm just going down the little cast list.
Yeah, Percy. Percy. It is Percy. You're right.
So they...
Because she's like, but that guy. Percy.
Exactly. That's a great line that you quoted. But the... Percy. So then he's like, you have to kill that boy. And Khan is like, what? But he's a child. And Raghavan is like, we all have to do things in order to we have to sacrifice things for the good of our nation, right? And so they flash back, and it's in Pakistan, in the India, in the desert, and they're like, oh, Raghavan, he's a major, I think. He's a Major Raghavan is when he was back in the army, right?
Yeah.
Before he was a terrorist, he was in the army, and he worked under Shah Rukh Khan's dad, Brigadier, and so. Like,
Brigadier.
She needs to make sure that everybody knows that.
He's a brigadier. It's a fun word. But they're like, oh, there's Pakistani jasuses in spies in the desert that we found. There's no proof that they're spies, okay? They just look like men who are, like, passing, okay? Like, just poor men.
Yeah.
I was like, 10 of them lined up, and he's like, oh, are you Pakistani jasuses? And they're like, no. And they're, like, crying, and it's actually a very upsetting scene.
Yeah.
It's, like, not funny at all.
No.
But he's like, oh, and then he goes behind them. He's like, don't worry, like, you can tell me. And he's like, are you Pakistani? And they go, yes. And he shoots them in the head, one by one, each person. And then it's the last person, or in the middle, one of the people he shoots, he pushes to the ground first and points the gun up. And the guy turns around, it's a little boy. He's like a teen, like 14 or something. And then you see him shoot him. You see him shoot the little boy, basically saying, you shoot them. It doesn't matter. It's for the country. And so then that's how they show him in like a military court, and they're like, did you just shoot those 10 people? And he's like, yes, they were spies. And they're like, how did you know? And he's like, oh, well, we didn't, but they were Pakistanis. And the guy was like, you know that we're not at war with Pakistan. And the most iconic line in the movie, he's like, General, we've been in a war with Pakistan since 1947. Which everyone knows.
It's somewhat true.
In a way.
Yeah.
In a way, it's true.
We've been at war, but that's also one of the countries where...
We haven't been at war.
Not war.
Just, tension.
Actually, that's one of the...
In wars, but we just have some tension.
But
now.
there hasn't been a... And he says that's when the country split. The countries had split.
I think there was a war in the 70s.
Yeah, but 1947 is a special day because that's when India and Pakistan split.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the whole point. Like, we've been in a war since 1947, which is false. And so they're like, this man is mentally unfit to be a general in the army or a major in the army. So they strip him. And then they cut him in the face with his shield. And I didn't even know that they cut him in the face until I just saw it last weekend. I was like, why is he so dramatic? Why is he going... I didn't understand. And so they cut him. And I'm like, oh.
Not purposefully. It just when they were ripping off his...
ripping
off his badges, one of the badges, the main one, hit him in the face.
And he has a scar there. I'm like, I don't understand what happened. Like, where did he get that scar? She's like, he got slashed in the face. I was like, oh.
I love the symbolism in that too. It's his badge that cut him in the face. Like, how unfortunate is that?
He's scarred for life. And so basically, there's that. So like, you gotta kill the little bitch. And then
I mean, you're really going into major detail about this movie.
what's the song that comes?
Kiska hai tumko.
Do 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 do
Intizar.
No.
Yeah, that was it.
That's what it does, right? I think I got Full House confused in that point. Whoops.
So this is a long movie. It's a 2.5-hour
Yeah, but I don't
film.
think we need to go into like that much detail.
I
I'm
like
going
the
into
details.
plot
I love the
here.
details. We need the deets.
There's, like,
Wait, if I was gonna just do a plot synopsis, I'd have just read off. People are here; they want to listen to what the movie's about. I'm going play by play here.
I like this. Keep it going.
What happens after the song? I completely forget. Do they go to the movies?
I don't remember.
They go to the movies. No, he gets a makeover during the song because he was dressing like an old person, and then they do the bet where where he's doing the arm wrestle with Lucky, and Sanjana knows that he's stronger, and she's like, just lose it, just lose the bet, and I'm like, girl, if Lucky was gonna lose, let him lose, but whatever. Major Ram loses the bet, and so his punishment is that he has to sing to the first person who walks through the gate.
That first person happens to be
Sushmita Sen,
the chemistry teacher.
the chemistry teacher, who's dressed in the most revealing sari.
A little scandalous for being a teacher.
And she gets so like abhorrent. He starts singing to her, and he's like, her name is Chandni. It's like, Chand mera dil, Chandni. And then these guitarists come out, and they're like, do 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 do.
Yeah.
It's like a very campy scene. It's really cool.
Cool. It's very cool.
It's very
They're
cool.
only
Yeah, it's supposed to show that he's like in love with her first sight because she's hot and wearing like no clothes. Well, it's a sari, but you know what I'm trying to say.
No clothes.
And the guitarists have like no amps, and
they're doing electric guitaring, but they're acoustic guitars that they have in their hands.
It's only one guitar line, and they're both playing. It's like do 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 do. And so she complains. She's like, "Oh, what is this?" And he sings again, and she's like, "Oh my god!" So it goes to the principal, and they're like, "Can you do it? What did you do?" And he's like, "Chand mera dil hoo." And all of a sudden, they're not playing electric guitars.
They're playing acoustic.
And so basically, it's like he falls in love with her. It's like little shenanigans. He like goes to apologize. He sings to her again, and then the dude is like, "You punk!" The spitting professor.
You punk.
He, very attracted chemistry teacher as well.
Yeah.
And so he sees him come back and sing
Miss
again.
Tucker is not pleased with how.
Miss Kakkar is like, why is she wearing these choti moti saris?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Summer, you should come closer to the mic. I can't hear you.
Sorry.
You want to know what she's doing
better?
right now? You want to know what she's doing?
Is that better?
She's laying the fook down.
No wonder you sounded like you were like so far away. I was like, why is it? I'm like, it's not just me, right? No, it's Samrah.
No, it's not you. It's me.
Samrah got pooped out 40 minutes into it. I was like, I can't.
Hoon Na anymore. Even though I need some up here.
I am your backup. I'm the one giving you all your comments.
I don't even remember what happens. Oh, it's that song. No, that
happens in a little bit.
तुम्हें जो मैंने देखा, तुम्हें जो मैंने जाना, तुम्हें जो मैंने देखा, तुम्हें जो मैंने जाना, जो होश था.
Oh, there's a movie scene.
Yeah.
The movie theater where then the terrorists try and kill Percy.
Yeah, Percy.
But Major Ram happen and
Nope.
he captures Khan
Yep, and he captures Khan.
and tortures him. And
On
it's
top of it, I just want to point out that Major Raj, they had a Jeep that they were driving away in when they saw that it was Major Ram, and then Major Ram stole a cycle rickshaw to catch up to them.
caught up to the Jeep
Yep, going at like 150 miles per hour. Caught up to the Jeep. Not only did he catch up, but then he was doing all these amazing Matrix style
Because they were
stunts
shooting bullets at him and somehow didn't get shot.
on a cycle. Wood is flying at him, tree trunks.
I don't know
Somehow
where,
there's an explosion that comes
where
out
did
of
the
nowhere.
explosion come from?
I think there's a tunnel, and
There's like a fuel truck and it like hits the Jeep.
yeah, I don't know. And nobody cares about all the accidents happening, and he's still just in this cycle rickshaw chasing the Jeep.
And look, he wins. He gets Khan.
He gets Khan, and but Chanel Shetty is pissed off.
He's like, ah!
He's like,
That bastard.
he's like, I need to now handle this myself, and
Because Khan is his BFF.
yeah, because Khan is beautiful, and he's like, I need to handle this myself. And he goes, General Bakshi has sent his bloody best. And
I forgot about that line.
he has sent his bloody best. So that means that obviously,
Can I sidebar here?
yeah.
First of all, two things. Why is this lair full of water?
Yeah, I don't understand.
It's a lair and it's like a warehouse.
It's a warehouse.
And it's just full of water. And I'm like,
up to
why?
water in the ankle.
First of all, isn't that not an electricity hazard? Because of
Yeah,
all
and they
these
have-
monsters
OSHA would be angry.
would be angry. And second of all, why not put contact on Sunil Shetty? He has blue eyes in the movie. And I was like, Samrah, does Sunil Shetty have blue eyes? She's like, no. I'm like, what does this add to his character? Why put... Why did the stylist team go, I really think this terrorist needs to have blue eyes.
This just needs to have ice blue eyes on top of it. Maybe that's why it's so icy.
He's so cold.
Mm-hmm.
You did it. I can't even say anything to that.
We figured it out.
You answered my question. You still haven't answered the water on the floor, but
Well, listen, I can answer everything.
that's aesthetic. That was purely, he's like, I need to have a factory and it needs to have water everywhere or I'm not taking it. So, do you have anything?
I was just gonna say that's basically why it's cool. Like they just think it's cool. They're like, yeah, look at this. We have water everywhere. We can splish splash around.
It was so that if somebody does something bad, he can electrocute them right then and there.
Or he can drown them. He'll just stick their head in the water.
Uh-huh.
Or he can just shoot them.
Which I think he may have.
Probably.
But the point is there was water everywhere. But anyways, so
he
now, Ram, what's his name?
Raghavan.
Raghavan, right?
Does it? It's like Raghav and Ram, like, like Ramayan and
No, Raghavan. Yeah, something.
it's like, that story of
they're one of the
religious stories.
Religious stories. But I don't remember I don't remember how you pronounce it. But anyway, so then he's like, because he thinks he's the best, which, I mean, he's pretty good. He's like, General Bakshi has sent his bloody best. And so now he has to do everything.
And what does he do? He comes into the school.
Mm-hmm. And as a teacher.
As the new teacher. Because you want to know what happens. They take the spit teacher. Who in the meantime, isn't this the makeover happens?
There's a few things. So first of all, the spit teacher ends up being like a stalker.
What?
Okay, well, before he becomes a stalker, isn't this is the scene where like,
oh yeah, this is
where they don't do his homework, where Lucky doesn't do his homework.
Yeah, Lucky doesn't do his homework, so then Ram gives him his assignment, but then Ram gets caught, and so the teacher thinks Ram didn't do his homework, so he makes Ram like
have to do it 5 times in a row.
And so Lucky feels really bad, and he enters the library, which is probably one of the funniest scenes because the doors open and this kid just like faints on the ground because nobody's ever seen
and
Lucky.
All of a sudden, he becomes a mother, and he's like ding, and he like puts the jowl, it like falls the rice. He like enters, and everyone's like, oh, he's like, oh, you're friends with Sanjana.
Yeah, and so he's like, Sanjana's my girlfriend, and Sanjana's your girlfriend, and then this like random person, and he's like, that's when he says, I wouldn't like plain Jane Sanjana, and Sanjana overhears him.
Right.
And so Shah Rukh Khan takes her for a makeover.
Right, to his lovely teacher crush. Because she's like, and then that's a nice scene though, when she cries to him, and she's like, my dad never loved me because I wasn't a boy.
And so now we know why she was a tomboy.
Yeah.
Like a weird tomboy.
She's like, because she's like, I always tried to be a boy, and now look, guess what? No one remembers that I'm a girl. Right? Even though she's very feminine looking, but whatever, fine. So then they go for a makeover, and then what's the makeover? It's her wearing shalwar kameez
and just straight hair and less eyeliner.
And they're like, oh, she's so beautiful.
Yeah, and so Zayed Khan basically falls in love right away.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, want to go to prom with me?
And she's like, no, I'm going with Percy. Because Percy never looked at my looks. He liked me before.
Right, even though she's still in love with him. Was lucky.
Poor Percy.
And then in that meantime, okay, the physics teacher, Mr. Spit.
Yeah, Mr. Spit gets captured.
Because he's in front of some girl's house and he's like, "Main tere ghar ke samne." Singing to her. And he's like, "I'm in front of your house." And she's like, "Who are you? What are you doing?" And it's so uncomfortable. We didn't think twice about it when we were kids. And I'm like, is he a stalker? Like,
Yeah, he is.
She's like, "My husband's coming." And he's like, I forgot what he says, but it's like very uncomfortable because she clearly does not want him. Like, she's like, oh.
Oh, God.
And so he gets, like, Raghav, the terrorist, take him and capture him so that Raghav can become the new physics teacher.
Right.
And Major Ram is losing focus because he's falling in love. And, and he moves in.
Yeah.
We forgot that.
That's a major plot point.
That happens after, though, right?
No, before.
It happens after that song when he has a love song with the teacher.
Yep. And then he moves into not his mom's house, but
the woman,
his stepmom's house. I guess it's his stepmom. And he gets very close to her and like calls her mom and everything. Yeah.
That's all that happens there. And she hates the army, or like Lucky hates the army. He has like a big blow up and he's like, "My dad left me for that stupid son of his," or whatever.
Unknowingly, obviously saying all of it.
Saying this all to the son, the bastard. And he's like, "I hate my father. He can't hear me anyway, blah, 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 blah."
And he kind of has like a major meltdown.
Yeah. Honestly, it's all triggered because Sanjana said no to prom.
Yeah.
So then he yells about his dad not loving him and then walks out.
Very dramatic. So dramatic.
Yeah. Literally, that's what happens. I'm like, dude, you just got rejected because you called her a plain Jane. She didn't want you. And then you're like, my dad hated me.
Yeah.
What a jump.
And like makes his mom cry. It's kind of depressing.
Yeah.
Anyway, what happens after that? The prom. Prom happens.
Prom night!
And they do a dance number. Zoopy doopy zoop. No, that's not it.
Yeah,
that's Three Idiots.
Oh. Zoopy doopy zoopy doopy.
The wrong song. How does the song go?
I forgot.
Everybody get down. This party's going to town. There's only one thing to do. Baby, let's rock. I said all my life to do. गोरी 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 कभी कभी कहीं कहीं चोरी चोरी.
Because I was like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. I wish I knew. I don't know.
It's like zoopy doopy. Something like that. It's something like that, though.
Good Lord.
I can't remember the song.
Clearly it wasn't a classic, so we didn't remember.
It was like...
It was like...
What? Is that really what the song was?
This was a video. Then I can show everybody the dance. Because I'm doing it as I lie down.
No, remember it starts out because they have that weird like Beatles wannabe band at the prom, and they're like, ba-ba-ba-boo-ba-ba-da.
I can tell you the dance. It's a lot of shimmies.
Is it not Zooby Dooby? So it's not Zooby Dooby 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 Zooby Doo. Oh, no.
Oh yeah, goody.
So you were right, kinda. You were kinda right.
It's far from Zooby Dooby Dooby.
Is it Zooby Dooby Dooby Dooby? No.
No.
Is it Zooby Dooby Dooby Dooby?
Goody.
It's a terrible lyrical song.
Yeah.
Is it Zooby Dooby 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 or is it Zooby Dooby Dooby Dooby?
No, it's Goody.
It's Goody, 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 goody.
Kabhi kabhi kahi kahi, chori chori.
And then the shimmy dance the whole time as I'm doing it. You guys can't see me.
I will take a picture and post it. So basically, wait, and then after the prom, the terrorist is at the prom.
Yeah.
Raghavan, because he's the chaperone, and he's watching these imbeciles dance, and he's like, idiots, and he kills Ram's backup, shoots him straight, bullet, head.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, oh, Ram, you should take your teacher friend home. And you're like, what's going on here? And he takes a teacher friend home, and he gets followed and shot at. But he survives because it's Ram, but he doesn't think he survives. Raghavan's like, oh, I won. And so he tries to take Sanjana home. Remember? He takes Zayed Khan, Lucky, and Sanjana home. But then Ram runs in. He's like, get out of the car! Get out of the car! And then,
but he doesn't know that the chemistry teacher is Raghavan.
no, he's appreciates him for like helping. And then out comes General Bakshi. Oh, she calls her dad, by the way, and is like, oh, hi, Dad. And they like are no longer estranged. This happened before. Anyway, so her dad's there, General Bakshi's there, and they give her a hug. And also, Pakistan, in the meantime, has said yes to Project Milap.
And also, as Raghavan sees General Bakshi, and so he tries to hide his face.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, fuck. So, meantime, Pakistan's like, yeah, let's do this.
We can do Project Milap.
We can Milap with them.
We can Project Milap with them.
Now it sounds gross.
Milap.
We can Milap with them.
I don't know. When I hear Milap, reminds me of the Canadian figures in South Park.
What are their names? I'm not your friend, buddy.
Oh, I don't know what their names are.
Let's go back. So there's that. And so Raghavan's like, fudge, they did this. And so everyone thinks, everyone finds out. That's when they find out that Ram is Major Ram.
Yes.
After prom.
Yes.
Okay.
And let's just say the chemistry teacher is quite thrilled.
That scene is very uncomfortable. She like takes him home. She's like, so you're not my student. And he's like, no. And she's like, okay, let's do this. And it's like, okay. So they're together then.
Yeah.
that happened.
And then, oh my God, there's so much that happens in this movie. It's so intricate.
I mean, to wrap things up at this point,
no, there's a huge kidnapping scene.
Well, that's what I was going for.
But there's a reason why that happens. And
doesn't he also kick him out though, or kick Ram out of the house?
Oh, the mom finds out.
The mom finds out, and
because Sunil Shetty comes into their home and is like, "Oh, Major Ram, you are what's his name, son?" And she's there and she hears it.
Yeah.
And he walks away. He's like, "Haha, bitch,
I got you."
And so the mom kicks him out. She's like, "What did you think you'd accomplish here, huh? You think I'd love you? I could never love you. You're a little son of a bitch." And then Zayed Khan is like, "Ah!" He like screams. He's so mad. He's like, "Get out of the house!" And so he gets out. And then the mom's like, "Wait, last thing. Why did you even come here?" And he's like, "It was my father's last dying wish." And she's like,
find out.
And she's like, dun 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 dun.
Yeah. They find out that the dad died.
And so then he leaves and he says goodbye to everyone at the school. And it's a very sad scene. And Miss Cucker knits him a sweater. And it's very cute.
I know, Cucker.
And she's crying. And you're like, MVP. Why am I tearing right now? And then while he leaves, he's on the train. Raghav takes hostage of the school.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And he starts shooting up. And Ram finds out. I don't know how Ram finds out.
I don't remember.
I don't know. But then the whole thing is that Raghavan is like, I will let these students go if you return Khan to me.
That, and he doesn't want Project Milap to happen.
Yeah, he's like, Project Milap cannot happen, or these kids will die. And Ram is like, don't do this. And then the mom walks in right as he's about to enter the plane with Khan to go to do the hostage thing. And she's like, I want both my sons to come back.
And I was like,
That's Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. That's the wrong song.
That's also the wrong song. That's definitely not in that song.
Sorry, I just felt like the Kuch Kuch Hota theme song worked better there.
खोया है पाके जिसने प्यार में हो ना बेचैन मैं हो बेकरार मैं हो ना.
Anyway, so then he goes to school. He does this a huge fight scene.
Yeah, like they think they killed because they shoot him. Well, you know that obviously he's wearing a bulletproof vest.
Yeah, he's wearing a bulletproof vest, but they shoot him like 3 times in front of all the students, including Zayed Khan, or Lucky, and he's like,
and like Sushmita Sen's going nuts on the butzo.
She's like, my Major Ram.
My man.
And they're all like freaking out, and it's sad, and then they drag his body away, and Khan is helping him. Oh, and you want to know why Khan helps him? Is because Major Ram told him why Raghavan is actually so pissed and angry at the Pakistanis. It's because his son was killed by Kashmiris, Pakistani. And so now he hates all Pakistanis. And so
Khan realizes it's a personal vendetta.
Yeah, and not one for the good of the country, but for a personal problem. And he's like, oh, I'm not about this shit, no mo.
No.
And then he's like, Khudafis, to Major Ram to say, I'm going to die now because I'm sacrificing myself.
Wait, did he really die though?
Yeah, Khan dies because Sunil Shetty finds out. Remember, they think Ram is dead, and Ram comes and like kills everyone, and he's like, Khan, you let him go. And Khan's like, I had to because this was a personal thing. And he's like, Khan, it's always personal. And he shoots Khan in the head.
Oh, yeah.
It's always personal. And then the students, like, he gets the students out. Shah Rukh Khan, he has a major fight scene with Raghavan.
And that's where we always come to the,
where he's like, where he goes, in 5. He does that thing with his hand. I wish you could see. I wish you could see what he does with his hand. He brings it out. He's like, 5. 5.
Does he really go?
5 minutes. The shit out of you in 5 minutes, basically.
He really does beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. Honestly, he wouldn't have won if he had not taken the pin out of his bomb jacket.
Yeah.
So basically, he beats him up, and then at one point, I don't know why he's counting. Why he's like 1, 2, 3.
Because he's about to shoot him.
Oh yeah, and he goes 1, 2, 3, and then Shah Rukh Khan kicks the floor under him, and he goes ah. It's the most monotone. No one would scream like that if they were falling. They would go ah. We rewind that scene like over and over, like ah.
It's easily the best scene in the entire movie.
That's why he comes to a close second of MVP.
Yeah, because of that line in 1947.
And General Bakshi is bloody best.
His bloody best. So then he's about to shoot him. He's basically won Raghavan.
Yeah.
And Zayed Khan, in the meantime, gets a helicopter somehow. We don't know how he gets it. I have to help my brother. Remember?
Yeah, he's my brother.
They're like, Amrita Rao was like screaming. She's like, Lucky, don't go in. And he's like, I can't leave him. He's my brother.
My brother.
He's my brother. Finds a helicopter somehow.
He somehow gets a helicopter.
And the helicopter
swarming the roof.
I know, he's coming to the roof. And I don't know how he knows to get to the roof, but the right one too. And Ram is like on the roof with him. And he's like, okay, I'm going to shoot you, Ram. And Ram turns around.
And that really gets him.
And it pisses him off. He's like, turn around, damn it! Because he wants to shoot him in the face, right? Like a man. And then he doesn't realize that Ram
took the pin.
Pulled the pin off the bomb on his jacket. And he's walking away. And he's like, oh, really, Ram? Blah, blah, blah. Malap is going to happen. And while the scene is happening, by the way, Malap is going on. The POWs are being released on the border of Pakistan. And they're hugging and doing namaz.
And India, both.
Namaz and doing prayer on both sides of the border right there and reuniting. It's a very touching scene.
Yeah.
But then you see Ram limping, saying Malap will happen. And then Sunil Shetty knows his fate. And he closes his eyes as as the bomb goes off. And you see his pants fly. I always remember that his pants were flying. Like, why are they flying? Would they have been incinerated? But his pants are flying.
And somehow Shah Rukh Khan has enough willpower all of a sudden to run off the roof in time and jump literally 2,000 feet.
Oh yeah, 2,000 feet. Literally 50 feet. It was an unreasonable jump and catches Zayed Khan's hand with one hand, the
Yeah.
one that he was shot with.
Yeah, something
Of
like
course.
And then I remember they're like laughing. They're like, "Oh, pull me up." They're like, "Ah,
that. And then they're
ah."
like, woo, woo, because they have all this
And
adrenaline.
then Zayed Khan pulls him up, and he's like, he looks like he's shitting himself. He's like, it's very, again, these are little things that I've caught.
With multiple viewings.
And then basically he's like, I want to graduate. And then they just graduate.
And
And then it was a happy ending.
Yeah, that's it.
And Project Malap happened. And
Yeah.
everyone's happy.
Uh-huh.
That's the end.
What a piece.
What a piece. That's another movie we gotta do. Koila.
Koila is
5 hours long.
If this was an hour and this was a 2.5 hour movie, imagine Koila, which is a 4-hour movie. How long this podcast?
And like 2 hours of the movie is just them running.
The whole movie is them running from something. And then
from something.
you got something in your throat, and I took it out, and now you can talk again. That's the whole Koila right there.
We need to do it one day. We need to do that movie.
This would be an extra long special podcast.
This would be the special. We'll tag Shah Rukh Khan.
Oh man, but that's awesome. Yeah, what a great movie. It's on Netflix.
You gotta bring the movie up. You gotta watch the movie next time and do this, because this was hard to keep track. Bollywood movies are intricate pieces of work. Like they're like tapestries hung on the wall.
It's funny because I was following along on the Wikipedia page, and the Wikipedia does not do justice at all about the plot. It is the most this is the synopsis of it. There's no details in it at all.
Good job.
Yeah, it was really long.
It was an hour podcast. I did it.
You timed it perfectly. Yeah, it was great. I don't know.
Good job.
You did.
I did a good job.
Samrah was already gone on 40 minutes in, and I was like,
She's like, this is too long. And I'm like, well, the damn movie is too long.
I feel like I'm watching the whole movie again.
oh god.
Just watch the movie too, which is the sad part. I watched it twice, honestly, in the last week. I had good notes there.
Yeah, no, the movie did pretty well too in the box office.
Oh,
right?
it was a hit.
It was a hit. It says here it was 780 million rupees, which is like $11 million, which is pretty big. Pretty
For a
significant.
Bollywood film, that's pretty big.
Very big, yeah. $11 million.
The film is either Kuch Kuch Hota Hai or Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge.
Dilwale.
Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge is still playing in theaters in India, and that movie is like 30 years old. It's another Shah Rukh Khan movie, which I dislike.
I also dislike.
We should do that then, because because you guys hate it so much.
Dan, if I do this again, you have to take the lead next time.
Listen, I like that movie. I'm not gonna lie. I like that movie. I'll watch it.
Take the lead, and we can be like, ugh, God.
All right, fine. Deal.
But next movie, I think we already know what we're doing.
What are we doing?
America.
Oh, okay.
Fascinating America. That's Pardes.
I'm not. To give a little tease, I did watch the first 5 minutes of Pardes last
Ganga.
night. And it was so funny. He was like, I just love how Amrish Puri comes in. He's like, oh, look at this big. He was like, I don't even know what he does. Is he a Hollywood actor or does he own property? Like, what does he do in America?
He's like a hotel property owner.
Okay, that's what I thought it was. Because the mate, he was like, oh my god, he's some god, as he was walking by.
He is. He's
Anyway,
a rich half. Even in America, he's rich.
And then he kept talking about the gaon. He was like, the gaon ka sabziyan bahut achhe.
The veggies of the village, the village veggies.
Okay, but that's a little teaser.
Teaser of our next Bollywood Breakdown. Ooh, is that the name of this?
Bollywood Breakdown? I like
Bollywood
it.
Breakdown.
We found it.
Perfect. I'm sticking with it.
Alrighty.
Okay. Well, on that note,
follow us on Twitter and Instagram at FabandFriends, or on Facebook, www.facebook.com/FabandFriends, or email us at FabandFriendsPodcast@gmail.com. Or make sure to review us and rate us on iTunes and Google Play, 4 to 5 stars only.
You better believe it.
Yeah, basically.
What is that from? Is that the song from Hoon Na too? No, it's not.
No, I don't know what that's
What did you say? I didn't hear it.
You better believe it.
Okay.
You better subscribe
Subscribe to what? I guess
to
our
our
podcast.
podcast.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Do it.
Instagram.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey.
Bye.